What a disastrous month it has been, viewers, for the students across the country. June has turned into a nightmare for Indian students. From cancelled entrance exams and paper leak scandals to technical glitches, evaluation disasters and textbook blunders. Very shameful textbook blunders. The country's education system has lurched from one crisis to another. More than 22 lakh NEET aspirants were thrown into uncertainty after medical entrance exam was scrapped over a massive paper leak, forcing a nationwide retest. The chaos only deepened with portal glitches, cybersecurity concerns and allegations of fresh scams targeting anxious candidates. And at the same time, lakhs of CBSE Class 12 students found themselves caught in a digital evaluation fiasco, with reports of blurred answer sheets, mismatched copies and questionable marking practices triggering outrage across the country. And meanwhile, in Odisha, a textbook overhaul meant to modernize education instead exposed thousands of factual and conceptual errors, raising serious questions about quality control. And meanwhile, CUET candidates also faced server meltdowns, delayed examinations and disputed answer keys, while vulnerabilities in JEE advanced portal highlighted alarming concerns over data security. And the fallout is spread beyond undergraduate admissions, with key postgraduate examinations also facing delays and uncertainty. So for millions of students, June 2026 has not been an easy month. Says it has not been a month of learning or a month of opportunity. It has been a month of confusion, disruption and broken trust. We look at the string of failures that have left an entire generation of aspirants asking a simple question: who is accountable for India's education crisis? And to help us understand more, we have CB Sharma, former chairman of NIOS and professor at School of Education, IGNOU, and also Ashwini Bajaj, CEO of Leverage Growth, joining us live on this broadcast. A very good evening to both of you all. Professor CB Sharma, how do you look at this? June, the month this year, has been very disastrous. NEET cancelled. Students have, taken the extreme steps. So many have lost their lives. And now they're carrying out, mock drills to, ensure that the question papers are transported to these examination centers very safely. But the rot is within the system, Professor Sharma.
I cannot agree with you more. I think the situation is precarious. The less said, the better. Absolutely no defense for what has happened. And as you narrated, look at the textbook published by NCRT, the JEE, the NEET, the CUET. Absolutely no defense. One cannot defend the government, the agencies, the sort of mistakes NCRT has made in spite of being a large institution and being given the status of a deemed university recently. One can just say it is shameful, and our heads are lowing down because of the performance of these institutions. But today we are at a very different juncture. Less than 12 hours, our students are going to appear for the exam. So this is perhaps the time to share some of the concerns that our students must be thinking of and suffering from. Tomorrow, the exam is going to be perfectly transparent and meticulous. What we have seen from the preparation, what we have heard and what I have gathered from organizations, brilliant preparation has been done. All measures have been taken. All precaution has been taken to make the question paper very secret, very confidential, error-free, and transportation has also been ensured so that it is there on all centers before time and everything is fine. I would like to reassure my children, my students, and also parents. Rest assured, tomorrow's exam is going to be perfect. Be with your child and stay with them right through the night. See how they are sleeping, how they are performing. Give them a good dinner today and let them relax. No discussion about exam for tomorrow. No discussion about the failures of government, failures of agencies. Fine, we will look into that, but after tomorrow. So the next 24 hours, I believe, Deepak, the issue is before me that our exam is going to be conducted in a very fair manner. All precaution has been taken. Reassure you, all our students, children, and parents that don't worry, this time it is going to be fine. all inquiries, all reports will come after tomorrow, and you will know what government has done.
And we hope,
But
sir,
for now, rest
after this
assured, it is
re-examination, there are
perfect.
no technical glitches or there are no reports of paper leak.
Absolutely
You know,
not.
Ashwini Bajaj, Mr. CB Sharma says that everything is in place now. But why didn't this happen, earlier on? Why did the leak happen, year on year on year? Every year, every time, they go into exams, papers are leaked. Lakhs of students who had been preparing for months together, their efforts gone down the drain, emotional damage, loss of lives, but there is no accountability fixed at the top.
So basically, when we are looking at the situation for the students, so I'll just address the political aspect of it. There could be any number of whataboutery that people could be doing with regards to, China's got these exams and XYZ countries got these exams. But that is not going to be helping because we are in India and we need to be concerned about how the exams are taking place over here. So the accountability part has to come in, but I resonate with what Mr. Sharma said, and that has to happen that we are going to be looking at after the exams are conducted. But any amount of assurances right now is not going to be working well because there is a major trust deficit in the system because it is not one instance but multiple instances across different examinations that has been taking place. So once it'll take multiple exams to get that trust back. But the teacher in me and the student in me, I would like to address that for the students, what they need to understand is you have controllable factors and you have uncontrollable factors. What you need to work on the controllable factors, the preparation, the health, the sleep, and what you need to avoid is the uncontrollable factors, the rumors, the social media, the politics around it, because I have, for example, have not ever opened my own results. My sisters always check my result. I understand the stress and the anxiety that it brings to the students, and also what we are looking at with the AI corrections going wrong with the CBSE exams, for example. So it is a very big challenge, and I can totally feel that part. The other thing is the students already have so much uncertainty in their lives because they don't know whether they'll get admission in that college or not. And to add on to that uncertainty, when the exam dates are getting postponed, whether there will be another leak or what will be the repercussions of it, whether the examination papers will be corrected correctly, is something that is the least that we could be expecting from the authorities who are conducting the exam. You cannot add on to the uncertainty of the students. I've taken almost a dozen, more than a dozen, in fact, professional exams, and I know the amount of preparation, hard work, etc., that goes into it. And you're looking into that bright future, and suddenly that gets delayed by a couple of months or so. And the revision part of the entire preparation is the most difficult part because you've already studied the curriculum. Now that's the finishing touch that you're working on. So it is a very I think disheartening thing for the students, and I say this as a student and as a teacher both. But my advice would be that it is the same situation for every single student who's out there preparing. So it is not that you have an extra disadvantage as compared to the others.
Exactly.
So understand that everybody is going through that same mental frame of mind right now. So what we can do is that there is a level playing field. Understand that. Now, whoever has a very high EQ, emotional quotient, along with the IQ part, the preparation, this revision, and also now is not the time to give up. For example, I've seen students give up in the last couple of weeks before a CA exam, a CFA exam, or something, and then later they realize that had I just pushed myself in those last couple of weeks or a month, I
Right.
would have been able to crack it. So just don't give up at this moment because of all that is happening around you, because they're uncontrollable
So the
factors.
message is that
So
cut through the clutter, focus on the re-examination, and things will
yes,
be fine for the students. But
yes.
Professor Sharma, Mr. Bajaj said that there is a trust deficit. How do you bridge this gap? So if you could summarize it in less than 1 minute, because I have another question for Mr. Bajaj before we conclude this conversation.
There's absolutely no doubt that the image of the NTA is at its lowest ebb today. But I'm sure tomorrow, 1 o'clock, when the NEET exam is over, it will gain the prestige it had. So give them 15 hours and NTA will definitely perform as expected. And don't forget, the DG NTA had joined the NTA only a few weeks before the exam. He had absolutely no idea. I'm so happy to see Mr. Abhishek Singh, the DG, coming regularly on the public platform, on social media, giving a statement, sharing with the students. That was expected. And that is what we were demanding. Students hear him, hear his statements, and be reassured that tomorrow it will be fine. We will talk about all those things that we need to ask the government tomorrow, 1 o'clock later, not today. You have prepared well. You are the best in the world. You have done hard work. Go with all confidence. You will do well. Good luck to you, and you will definitely do well.
Mr. Bajaj, your closing remarks. What is the immediate policy change that you would like to see before the next examination cycle?
See, I teach risk, and I would say that risk is a lot of preemption of how things are going to be or what can go wrong. For example, even when an RBI, you're printing currency, you're circulating currency all across the country. Just imagine the amount of safety checks and precautions the government would be taking in terms of getting that entire process done. So I believe the education, the examinations, the test papers, etc., the entire thing has to be taken with a lot more seriously. In audit, for example, we study about internal controls. So at every single step, where the papers are printed, where the papers are distributed, where the exams are conducted, the beta testing that should have been done with respect to the AI testing that was done with the CBSE papers. So every single step has to be checked absolutely rigorously and built in. Even when, say, for example, there are large companies doing trading, etc., they have so much of risk controls built into the system for every single scenario. The entire scenario analysis is done, and all worst case scenarios are prepared for. So again, getting back to that example of RBI, so how are they able to take care of? Couldn't anything go wrong in terms of transportation? Or can we not have a fake currency being printed? So how do we prevent that system from falling apart, where something monetary is important? So similarly, don't you think that we need to really look into the entire process, every single touch point with regards to the examination process, from the curation of
Foolproof
the exam
system,
papers?
Mr. Bajaj,
Yes.
that RBI has put in place, and that is the need of the hour as far as India's education sector is also concerned. But thank you,
Yes.
Professor C.B. Sharma and Ashwini Bajaj, for taking the time out to discuss this important topic